Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our Friday night Smackdown review. I gotta say, interesting episode of Smackdown tonight. Obviously, Money in the Bank is on the horizon, July 18th, the date of the pay-per-view. We did get qualifiers on SmackDown for both men and women. I'm pleased for the most part with the qualifiers, but I have a little bit to say about that. And we found out Roman Reigns' next challenger. Also very interesting how that has developed. And we've got a Money in the Bank qualifying match for the men's set for next week. That's going to be quite intense, to say the least. I'm very curious how that'll go. So a lot to unpack here. Also something that I may be invested in far more than my partner here. Also happening on SmackDown that I've got a little bit to say. So how did you feel about SmackDown tonight, friend?
I feel pretty good. I thought it was a decent show. There was, a moment or two that I didn't love. But I'm very confused about one particular bit that we found out early on in the show that we're going to just have to find out, or maybe I missed something, or maybe there's just more details, or maybe I just don't know. We'll have to talk about it when we get to our first segment, but I will say that the big return definitely caught me off guard. I was genuinely not expecting that tonight. That was really, really cool to see. And it was good to see, too, because, the role that the return is filling, I was wondering who was going to fill that role, so it's good to see. Anyway, yeah, let's get into our first segment.
Yeah, I definitely think some fun discussions are going to happen tonight. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll just be quite curt about it, but let's get into it. Heat of the night is our first segment. I only really have one nitpick. I hate that they just gave a Money in the Bank spot to Carmella. I guess Raw and SmackDown have to mirror their problems, because I hated that Raw's giving a last chance match to three guys that lost. You fucking lost, so go to the back of the line. Yeah. And I feel like Carmella should have earned her spot, especially because she did lose her match tonight to Liv. Now, granted, I'm glad that Liv seemingly is qualified. Commentary kind of left that to be more of an ambiguous question after the match, which I also kind of didn't like. But yeah, I really don't like how that was handled. The only good thing about it is seemingly that Liv is going to be in it, and I will just declare publicly, as I declared on Twitter, Liv, as far as my fandom goes, I'm rooting for her this year. I really think she's put the fucking time in, and I'd really like to see her get this. So it was cool. I don't know. I was very happy when we were playing Among Us, and Javaris was like, "Oh, Raw's doing qualifying matches," because I always prefer qualifying matches to a set field. Right. I do have more to say, though, about Money in the Bank that I'll be curious for your thoughts on. And really, it's less about the women's and more about the men's. But we'll get to that at the relevant places in the show. So, yeah, that was my only nitpick. I hated that Carmella was just awarded a spot. I think it's always better when you have to earn your spot, even if you are a heel. And, I think that's my biggest complaint coming out of the show. But I'm curious if you have anything on your roster tonight.
Yeah, I have a question. What the fuck's going on with Jey Uso, and why are they acting like he's done in WWE forever?
Dude, I had two thoughts. One, he has an undisclosed injury that maybe WWE doesn't want to make like a big fuss about. Or two, it's part of a bigger story, because we have to remember last time we saw Jay, he said he was sick of this. And that implied both Roman and Jimmy, because he even said, like, I'm over you and I'm over you, like this bickering. So maybe Jay is waiting for something. I don't know. But it's very interesting that they're withholding him. It's interesting he's getting that treatment, especially when, dude, and I will own up to it 1,000%. I have not stopped shutting the fuck up about Jey Uso being a Money in the Bank winner, because I really believed it, dude. With how they've been building him up and everything, I'm like, yeah, he could absolutely hold that briefcase. And Roman, as I said, it's not paranoia, it's Jey Uso, and they do the whole thing. Now, I don't even think he's going to qualify at this rate the way it's looking. And yeah,
that's what my sort of heat of the night is that you and I have been under the assumption probably since as early as like January even that Jey Uso was a Money in the Bank contender, and now he's just not around in Money in the Bank season. I don't understand.
Yeah. On the opposite trend of that, since we're talking about people, I'm really glad we're already going to see Kevin Owens next week on SmackDown. I thought he was going to be out for a long bit of time because he teased taking time off and shit like that. And now they're like, no, you and Sammy are running it back, last man standing. Of course, I have more to say about that when we get to the, again, relevant segments. But yeah, Jey Uso missing, really, really vexing, because I don't know what they're trying to say, if they're trying to say anything at all, because again, for all we know, this could be a legitimate undisclosed injury. Obviously, I hope fucking not. I think Jey has been one of the highlights of SmackDown for months, and I really thought this was going to be like his nod, beyond the armbar, which we can't forget that he did win that, even though I don't feel like WWE ever really cares about the armbar. I thought this was going to be his big moment, and he's nowhere to be seen. So I am concerned. I am definitely concerned. I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm just wondering, where the hell is Jey Uso? So,
yeah.
Anything else on your roster?
Well, the other sort of what the fuck's going on here thing is, did Jimmy beating Dolph get him into Money in the Bank, or was that just
no? That was just a standard one-on-one match, because I think they would have had the graphic for Money in the Bank, and they did not have that on the match material at all.
Okay, yeah, those two things confused me. I think because I really just missed the first segment, and it was literally just exposition of Roman and Jimmy talking about what the fuck's going on, and then later on in the night, I caught those two things happening, and I was very confused by them. So
that's fair. But if that's all you're packing, are you ready to actually talk about the show?
Yeah.
All right, let us get into our Friday night SmackDown review.
Oh, I'm sorry. Another nitpick. I don't like that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are facing each other, because it means that one of them is going to lose, which means that one of them either will not be in the Money in the Bank title match, or Money in the Bank ladder match, or they're going to get a second chance. And I hate it when losers get second chances, like you mentioned on Raw.
Exactly. Dude, I'm in the exact same position as you. Again, I do have more to say about that match specifically, but I'm going to hold off till we get to the relevant segments.
Yeah.
But I am glad you brought that up.
I did want to just bring that up, because that is a nitpick for me for sure.
Yes, absolutely, man.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to throw out one more. I'm getting a little sick of the Rick Boogs Nakamura doing the same goddamn thing every week. I want something new. I want Boogs to wrestle, goddammit.
So you're waiting for like a Shinsuke Boogs tag match or something like that.
Or just like, and I really, really don't like that they're trying to make Corbin sympathetic. Fuck that. He sucks.
Actually, I do have a bit to say about that as well. Again, holding my tongue till we get to the relevant segments. Before I really go into gear here, do you have anything else you want to say?
Well, I didn't think I did, and then I thought of those things. It's not like, I intentionally let you introduce our segment. But no, I can't think of anything else at the moment.
Okay, well, if it comes up, just wait for the relevant segments and then, have at it.
Yeah.
So we get our Hell in a Cell match recap with Roman and Ray. Roman obviously destroyed him. It was fucking hilarious. Then we get Jimmy and Roman backstage. You already kind of alluded to this segment, talking about where Jey is. And Jimmy, I think, said something to the effect that, like, Jay's not coming back. Which, again,
that's what I'm talking about. That's the shit that confused me.
Yeah, so I don't know. Because I went from, oh my God, Jey Uso with that briefcase could actually be a shit ton of fun, to, well, damn. Because apparently Jay's like, I hear you, but I don't think I will. And so I'm left with this, and I don't know what to make of it. But yeah, Jimmy tries to cozy up in that spot, which is kind of a reversal for Jimmy. Not that he's like back down from his principles, because he said, I'm not anybody's bitch. And he's like, he's still thinking it's about the family, where we all know with Roman deep down, it's like, yeah, family, but you got my back, right? Kind of thing. Like, he's number one. And Jimmy says, listen, Jay may not be here, but I got you. And Roman even kind of makes a face, because he's really had a good rhythm with Jay, and he knows for a damn fact that Jay's dependable, even if he wouldn't say it out loud. So he's like, do you really think you can do what your brother does? And Jimmy starts to backpedal and like, no, I'm not saying that. And then Roman presses him a bit more, and he's like, yeah, I can do it. And then Roman says, prove it. And then I'm just going to tie this off, because later in the night, Jimmy does have a segment with Paul Heyman outside Roman's locker room. And he's like, Paul, what does he mean by prove it? And Heyman more or less says, like, look, your family needs a head of the table. They have a head of the table with the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. When he tells you prove it, for example, win a match. If we got you a match, we'd expect you to win that match, and that could prove to us that, yeah, you're ready to assume these responsibilities with Jay's conspicuous absence. And so Jimmy's like, yeah, let's do it. And of course, that's how we get Jimmy versus Dolph Ziggler. We'll get to that later in the show. But yeah, that's what Roman essentially means by prove it, at least for this week. So after the Jimmy and Roman backstage interaction, Bianca Belair comes out because this is kind of a setup for a mixed tag match, Bianca and Cesaro versus Seth and Bayley, but not before some mic work from 3 of the 4 competitors. Cesaro does not talk, but Bianca, Seth, and Bayley do. What did you think about all this, man?
This was pretty interesting. It was weird, though, because, like, when Seth first came out, I was like, is Seth teaming up with Bianca? There was a lot confusing on this SmackDown for me. Maybe it was because I wasn't paying full attention the entire time, but, like, I feel like there was just, like, some weird presentation stuff here. But, like, Seth coming out first while Bianca was in the ring confused me. But then he did say, like, oh, we got to do this now because my partner Bayley's going to come out and have you on your back, and we're not going to be able to do it then. And then Bayley's music hit and the whole thing, and, like, I don't know, it was just weird. It was just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, you seem a bit off kilter with this, man. I feel like a lot of it just kind of disoriented you a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. You feel like SmackDown may not have its footing with you heading into Money in the Bank. I don't know, but yeah.
I don't want to leave the impression that I thought that the SmackDown was bad. I didn't. I don't know. There was just some weird shit on it that is unconventional for WWE, which again isn't a bad thing. That just kind of caught me off guard. You know, like it. I don't want to say it hit my ear different, but it did that for my brain. It hit my brain.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I appreciated Seth's trolling here. He's trying to get Bianca and him to, like, high five. He totally downplays Bianca's victory, which Bianca's promo was great too, because she really is that strong. I love
Bianca's promo. So she said, "I overcame my bully." Like, that moment was cool. And then, like, basically telling everyone that they could overcome their own Baileys. Like, yeah, that was really cool. I liked that.
I liked it too. I think she's a very sincere.
Nia Jax did it that one time when she won. I think, what was it, an Elimination Chamber or something like that?
Well, no, I think it was when she beat Alexa at Mania, because they did that whole bullying angle for Nia's Mania moment thing where she won the Raw Women's Championship, and it was garbage.
It was bad. Bianca did it way better.
Oh, absolutely. Bianca, I think, is a very sincere babyface champion, and I really appreciate her for it. So her promo was great. Really appreciated Seth's trolling and, like, downplaying Bianca's victory. He straight up called it a fluke. And, like, I personally think that was a great line because, like, anybody that saw the match saw that it was the furthest thing from. But, of course, Seth, being the douche that he is going to go that route. Meanwhile, it's funny that he even uses that word because I think it's far more applicable to how he beat Cesaro at Hell in a Cell, just catching him with that cradle. But he makes it seem like, oh, man, I did it all. I overcame everything, and it's great. It's great. So then Bayley comes out. She talks some stuff about, Bianca, I can't believe you. I was going to congratulate you. And then you showed me, again, that you're exactly the champion that I thought you were. And then Bianca's like, well, Bayley, maybe stop talking and I'll show you the kind of champion that I am. And then it just starts breaking down. Yeah. Cesaro comes out soon after. Yeah. This is how we segue into the proper mixed tag match. I do just want to address Foster in the chat because he did say, why are we still getting Bianca and Bayley? And I'll be honest, I love them both, but I can 100% understand where Foster's coming from because I'm just going to cut straight through it. The tag match was fine, but Bayley pins Bianca here. And now here's the thing, and I can't believe I'm about to say this sentence, and I hate myself and fuck everything, but, like, I loathe Charlotte Flair. That should be well documented on here. The only time I've ever given Charlotte any credit was for our dear friend Ella, who is amazing. And she's like, oh, I'm sad, but it would make me feel better if you said something nice about Charlotte. And I was just like, oh, fine. And I did. But in all sincerity, I've just never thought she was good. Why do I say all this? Because I can at least somewhat understand why Rhea and Charlotte are running it back at Money in the Bank because of the DQ finish. Why are we still doing this? Bianca outright dominated Bayley. Like, that finish was decisive as shit. Like, there should be no way Bayley gets her foot in the door for another title shot, and she pins Bianca here. Like, this is what I don't like about WWE. And this is what I don't like when you overly gimmick. Among many things, yes. When you overly gimmick certain match types, because look, I'm not going to be the guy, because I've already done it so many goddamn times, that pines for when Hell in a Cell actually meant something. You can't give it to two random people. Where's the hatred? No! Because, I mean, I've done it, and I think it's valid, but it's whatever. But, like, you did this really, like, big gimmick match, and that's not the end of the feud. It could be anything. It could be a ladder match. It could be a last woman standing match. It's not the idea that it's Hell in a Cell. It's the idea that it was this big stip match, and we're still doing this shit.
Yep.
So I love them both. I love them both so much. But, like, you can't have Bayley be the entirety of Bianca's title reign. And I'm going to say it. You can't ever be the entirety of her title reign until Sasha comes back, because that's what this reeks of to me. You are buying time until Sasha comes back. And again, I love all three. But that's really telling on yourself about how shallow your division is.
Well, and it seems like they're building up to putting Sasha in Money in the Bank. I think Sasha's going to end up being like a big announcement for Money in the Bank on maybe even the go-home show before Money in the Bank, because they're going to have a live crowd then. And they might actually just do Bianca Bayley again at the pay-per-view for the title again.
And it'll be a good match, don't get me wrong. It'll be a really good match, but just... goddamn, man. So I want you to know, Foster, like, I totally understand where you're coming from, even as, like, a huge fan of both of these women. It's like, come on. I want to see Bayley's character kind of pivot a little bit, maybe have some growth, and I want to see Bianca augment her reign at the expense of somebody else. So we'll see how it all goes, but regardless, Bayley gets the win for her team, and Seth is so freaking happy about it. To the point where, well, that actually comes a few segments later. So after this, we got the whole Jimmy Paul Heyman thing. Already talked about it. We get Shinsuke's coronation. Now, I'm going to be truthful here. Coronation was fine. Boog shreds on the guitar. I do agree with Ashton. I'm very sympathetic to her sentiments. We need something else. Boogs, you don't look like that and not wrestle. I'm just going to say it. Like
even tonight, he was saying King of Strong Style, and he flexed, and he had more impressive biceps than 99% of the roster.
But Corbin's watching from backstage, clearly dejected. He tries to get prompted. We have such opposite reactions to this, because I'll be honest, I'm going to keep an open mind to this. Because here's the thing. I think here's why I'm keeping an open mind to this. I don't think Corbin should be a main event guy. I think, again, we've made that clear. The reality has made that clear, because he is legitimately an anti-draw. It's not just something we say to be mean, right? But I'm always curious if maybe there's something in performers like Corbin that could actually surprise us and be good. And when he's acting all dejected, like, oh, man. Because remember, he said, I didn't just lose my crown. I lost all my investments. I lost everything. So this guy, he's no longer apparently going to be talking about $10,000 watches. Thank Christ, because I hate that. I hate it. He says, deflated, what's the point? And he walks off. So to me, this could go three different directions. And I don't know which one I find the most interesting. I'm not even going to ask you, because it seems like none of them would be interesting. But A, they're actually going to experiment with a Corbin face turn. And, like, I am so morbidly fascinated by that. I can't even lie to you. Like, I feel like it's that car crash that you see and you're like, holy shit, that was a car crash. And, like, you've already seen the initial impact, but you stick around for the aftermath. I feel like it's going to bomb immediately, but I want to see how committed they are to it before they just shift to something else. So that's option one, the just full-blown babyface turn, which, again, I'm morbidly fascinated by. B, and I could actually be open to this if done right, he returns to his roots, and he goes back to kind of the Lone Wolf character, the original theme before the kingly shit that you and I both love, and maybe he finds himself again. And that's fine. You know, a reset button for a guy like Corbin that nobody cares about, that's really not going to, you know, cause any outrage or uproar, right? And then the third option, which I would say is the most adventurous, just a new gimmick altogether, heel or face, and I have, like, no idea, like, what they would come up with. But I think, I don't know, I'm open to this. I like that they're doing something with Corbin. The second option would be that he goes back to the Lone Wolf gimmick, completely, and goes back to the theme and stuff like that. And that's why I was saying that if you push a reset on Corbin, like, it's not going to offend anybody because it's Corbin, right? So it's not like you and I are going to come back on here and be like, going back to the Lone Wolf gimmick is actually a regression, and I just don't appreciate it. It's very uninspired. Like, it's Corbin. Nobody's going to give a shit. I think
the only real pushback I would have against him going back to the Lone Wolf gimmick is I feel like Damian Priest is already doing something like that better.
Interesting. And I know Priest is currently out with an injury. I don't know how long he'll be out. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I don't know. I think why I'm keeping an open mind to it too is, again, Corbin should never be a main event guy. All that stuff already established. But he is solid enough in the ring. So if you want to give him another gimmick while he's still solid and safe in the ring, knock yourself the fuck out. I just don't know.
The reason I had such a negative, visceral reaction to this was because, like, he's like, what's even the point? And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, oh, what's the point of living when you can't bully people and make everyone else's lives a living hell? Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's my whole thing. Like, this dude's all depressed because he lost a fucking crown and a few investments when he spent the last how many goddamn years doing everything in his power to make everyone around him miserable. Fuck you, Corbin. You don't deserve sympathy. Go fuck yourself.
See, and this is why I feel like him turning face as a potential option is untenable. Because, and again, I say this for a reason, what made Kevin Owens work so well, and still what's making him work so well, is not only does he acknowledge, like, all the shit that he's done, but he's actively trying when he can. It's not like he goes out of his way to do it every week, because that would get boring very quickly. But when the opportunity presents itself and it's relevant, he tries to make amends. Clearest case in point, most recently tagging with Big E. Yeah. He wanted to be a good tag partner to Big E. He wanted to win with Big E because he knew, I treated the New Day like shit. I really like that. Corbin trying to do something similar to a KO, because I think KO has the charm and the personality for it, would be so awkward. Like, and I don't even know if it would be awkward to where you and I would be coming up on here and laughing about it like that's so bad it's good kind of TV, which would be fine. It would just be like, okay, man, thanks. And you're almost like more comfortable with them being the bully. So I don't know. Corbin's a big question mark, but I think that's why I'm drawn to this. So we'll see what happens, but he's all sad boy and depressed. It's like when Caillou was told he wasn't going to the circus. You know, I just had to get one last one in there. So after that, we get Seth Rollins backstage with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. And more or less the essence of the segment is, hey guys, I'm on the roll of my fucking life. And you know something? I want to be Universal Champion. And he's like, you know, you guys know I'm qualified. And he even says, like, I have never been more ready physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Yep. I mean, damn, he's ready. He's ready, bro. And Pearce and Deville are like, well, you know, Seth, I mean, you make some points, but we're not ready to do that just yet, but we'll take it under advisement. And Seth just has a grin, and he's like, it's time. So Seth certainly has feelings about himself. All of them are positive. He thinks he deserves to be world champion. And, you know, I'd be down for this Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. I think these guys have always had good matches, to at the very least decent matches. And with these two gimmicks, it would be interesting, even if it would be heel versus heel. But, again, I have more to say about Seth, but I think I'm going to save that for the ending segment based on some speculation we've heard about SummerSlam. But, again, we'll get to that a bit later. After this, we get an Otis video package.
I do just want to say, I think that Seth being a potential challenger for Roman is bad. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of heel versus heel, especially when Roman is like on his king shit. I really, really do not want another heel trying to go after him.
Okay, so you're staunchly opposed to this matchup because you just feel like with Roman's reign,
which is why though the return that we got in the main event was so much better to me, because it meant that Seth Roman wasn't happening immediately, and hopefully it won't at all, but like it definitely isn't happening immediately.
Yeah, I have more to say, but I am in the camp that I don't think it's happening at all. So I'm totally cool with this. But, yeah, then we get an Otis video package. I like that WWE does this every now and again for performers that you're not actually going to see on TV that week, because then it just reminds you, like, the depth of their roster and the other things they have going on that they don't really have the space to showcase physically that week. Because Otis really has been great with this. As Javar said, Majin Otis. I'll never get over that shaved face. That's a great way to get heat.
Yeah. Tamatonga, the master of it.
Absolutely. Hey, can never count out fucking Samoan Maven. Yeah. Big E versus Apollo, Money in the Bank qualifier. And I only have 3 words to say about this match. Right fucking call. Solid matchup. Really fun between these guys. I think they really have a great chemistry from all their Intercontinental title bouts.
Dude,
but Big E...
this was my favorite part of the whole show. This match. I loved this. Dude, some of Apollo's fucking Germans. Oh my God.
He's a beast, dude. He's a beast. Like,
I had never
that's why
thought
I don't
of
want,
Apollo Crews as that guy that does German suplexes almost as well as Brock Lesnar, but tonight he showed me that that's exactly who he is.
Yeah, dude, this is exactly why I haven't wanted to give up on Apollo completely as IC champion. Like, I just want him to have fresh challengers.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if Apollo's still IC champion going into the draft period, because I think that could be a great way to get him some fresh mid-card meat to play with. But Big E, and before I even like talk about all that, I did enjoy some of the sequences here. I think my favorite sequence was, again, they were going back and forth. Maybe even some of those German suplexes you alluded to were thrown. But then Apollo tries going for the angle slam. Big E lands on his feet, and he gets Apollo in the stretch mark for. That I thought was great. Great sequence with those guys. But Big E does ultimately win with the big ending. And again, I thought that was great. Big E being in Money in the Bank, you got to consider him a favorite for the men's. It really seems like the stars are aligning for him. This may be one of the best men's Money in the Banks in a while, because I'm really loving the field. I mean, Raw, to their credit, they've got a lot of fresh meat in there, just in the sense of, like, guys that have never been world champion. You know, you got Jomo in there with his parkour. It's going to be some inspired stuff. Ricochet, regardless of how I feel about him personally, the guy is fun between the ropes. And then Matt Riddle, again, regardless of how I feel about him personally, has a very visceral reaction. He should be very interesting in the ladder match. And then you will get the veteran in there on the Raw side, just in terms of, again, world champion and stuff like that. But it's either going to be Orton, and you get that interesting dynamic with him and Riddle vying for the same prize. AJ, who's fucking AJ Styles, and, you know, he's always got that charm and that ability in there. Or Drew, who, oddly enough, even though I've defended him for most of this year, I'm the least enthused about if he were to win it personally. But even he, I'm sure, would bring the electricity and the fun to it, and maybe he would be a potential feud and threat to Roman with that briefcase. So the Raw side's looking pretty solid, and SmackDown's already coming together nice, because you got Big E, who we've all been waiting to take that next step to the main event scene. You're going to get either Sami Zayn next week or Kevin Owens. And I'll say right here, I know I was going to say that I was going to wait for the relevant segment, which I don't even think is that far off. Because, yeah, actually, no, I will wait to just the next thing then. But you're going to get either Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens. Kevin is entirely believable because of what a threat he was to Roman in the past. And Sami would be a shit ton of fun. We've already talked about that. That gimmick is prime for something like this. So, yeah, men's Money in the Bank is stacked so far this year. I am loving it. I don't know if they're going to make any missteps, like big missteps. We'll have to wait and see. But very happy for Big E here. Do you have anything you want to say just about Big E getting in the match and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, when you put Big E against an already established champion, you have to assume it's going to be him. So I've kind of known that it was going to be him since I saw the image on Twitter. But yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm stoked about it. He's near the top of my list as far as who I'm rooting for. All
right, sweet. Yeah, I'm right there with you. If I didn't have such a long stand,
if Sammy's in it, he's my number one pick.
Yeah. Like I even said on Twitter, like he's 2A and Cesaro would be 2B if he qualified,
right.
And then Jay,
of course, Jomo being your number one, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course. Like that just goes back damn near like over a decade, because I've been a fan of his since 2007. So yeah, it's. Can't believe he's in that match, man. Goddamn, I'm so excited for Money in the Bank now. Like, just even the men's Money in the Bank alone, I am psyched. Let's go. So, Big E qualifies. We then get the Sami Zayn interview. Okay, here we go, where it gets interesting, because I'm going to talk about both these segments, Sami's interview and Sami getting Adam Pearce. So, Sami's really happy, obviously, that he beat Kevin Owens. Yeah. Karmic Justice, it's great. You know, things were going so rough for me that I just thought the world was nothing but injustice and suffering and this and that. Sami, I just want to pause real quick and say that is the ultimate mood, good sir. But he's like, no, it's all part of a divine plan. This karmic justice. So then Kayla kind of brings him back down to earth a little bit and says, well, Sami, how do you feel that you're going to be facing Kevin Owens again next week to qualify for Money in the Bank? Sami is apoplectic about this because in his mind, I already beat Kevin at Hell in a Cell. Why do I have to do it again to qualify? In Sami's mind, that's stupid. So he's throwing a fit about that. This carries over into a segment with Adam Pearce, where he says, I shouldn't have to face Kevin Owens. Hell, I shouldn't have to face anybody. You should just put me in the match. In fact, and then he takes it to the ultimate step. Just give me the briefcase.
The briefcase, yeah.
Just give me the briefcase. And you know what? Like, I should be pissed because I love this gimmick pay-per-view every year. But even me, I had pause and I'm like, well, you know, made some points. And Adam Pearce is like, that's not happening. And then he says, not only are you facing Kevin Owens, it's going to be a last man standing match. And I got to be honest with you, dude. And I may sound stupid saying this. Knowing that those guys are going to have to go through a stip like that to qualify, I think you'd have to consider the winner of that one of the favorites. Because nobody else is going to have to go through something like that. Like, at most, AJ, Orton, and Drew are going through a triple threat. And I'm not saying that's easy. But, like, dude, a last man standing match, based on the precedent, can be a grueling
if anything, wouldn't
matchup.
that put that participant at a disadvantage? Because they'd be so much more worn down compared to the rest of the field?
I mean, see, this is the problem. I think you think about things too sensibly sometimes, and I don't think I think about things sensibly enough. And I think WWE is looking at the happy medium, because you are making a solid point. I don't deny that, but I don't think WWE is thinking about it as deeply as you are in that sense. I look at it as, wow, look at what that guy went through. He's tough as shit. And then, like, that to me makes them stand out as a favorite. So I'm going to say this right now. Whoever wins that last man standing match between Sammy or Kevin, I am going to be 90% tempted to pick them as winner of Money in the Bank. Now, of course,
I will say this, though, knowing that it is a last man standing match, I think really what it is going to come down to is whether Sammy is able to outsmart Kevin or not. Because we've had, you know, Cena with the duct tape. We've had gimmicky finishes to last man standing matches before. That's going to be the only way that Sami Zayn beats Kevin Owens in a last man standing match, because the last man standing match might as well be Kevin's signature match at this point, because his whole gimmick is just keep fighting.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think as long as Sammy doesn't trust Paul Heyman with the handcuffs, he should be fine. And you know, it's funny I even say that, because that is the way that Kevin lost the last man standing match he was in. He had to be handcuffed. Like, he wasn't even... Oh, and the guillotine, I think, was what did it.
Which, honestly, because of that, I almost feel like Kevin has to win, which I hate, because I want Sammy to win Money in the Bank.
I low-key, again, if Jomo was not in it, Sammy would be the guy that I think I'd want to win this the most. I think he has been so on his game.
That's where I'm
like... But yeah, dude, like, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I really feel like the winner of this might win the whole fucking thing, because it is just crazy to me that they're going to have to go through this to qualify when you've had, and now I know this is more women's, but you've had Carmella just get thrown into her ladder match. You've got losers getting a second chance at it on the Raw side. These are the only guys that are really going to have to make the biggest sacrifice to get to the ladder match. So I just feel like WWE is kind of signaling, yeah, that person's going to be the toughest in the field. They're going to win the damn thing. And that really all screams a babyface. And Kevin Owens is the babyface in this right now.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to agree with you.
It would be one hell of a story for Kevin to win Money in the Bank and use it to get another shot at Roman.
It really would be, man. It really would be.
Never beat Kevin straight up. He always needed help. He always needed to cheat to beat Roman, to beat Kevin.
And dude, here's the thing. I'm going to be that guy. Kevin, as a babyface, he could close SummerSlam as the triumphant babyface after Roman gets done allegedly with Cena. You know, he may feel like, oh man, another title defense, and then that music hits.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, this men's field is insane. And by the way, that goes for Big E too. Like, Big E music could hit. Big ending on Roman. Heyman's freaking the fuck out. New champion. This
Jimmy
men's
pulls
field
out the
is
rest
insane.
because of course.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. But that was my immediate reaction watching this on TV. And that's why I like that we don't really, like, hear each other until we get on here. Because my thought really was, wow, I think whoever wins this may very well be the winner. Because who the hell else is going through this? So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we got several weeks left, man. We got plenty of time. But yeah, so Sammy, really angry. Adam Pearce is like, man, you know, I kind of just don't care. And that's it. So after that, we get the Sonya Deville Women's Money in the Bank segment. Obviously, this is where she announces Carmella to be in it. Carmella, of course, has a bit of a toot because it's like, you didn't refer to me as the most beautiful woman in WWE. I guess it's working because it's getting under my skin. I kind of roll my eyes every time we, run this shit back.
Yeah.
Liv's music hits. I pop. She's like, I beat her last week.
I will say,
yeah.
Other than just loving Liv as a performer, I fucking love her theme song, dude. It's so good. It's such a bop.
It is.
So much better than the one she had in NXT that started out with yo, 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 yo.
Yeah, what an evolution for Liv, right? I mean, to go from
really.
that to this.
Yeah,
Jeez.
this is such a bop. Anyway, go ahead, continue.
So yeah, Liv comes out, makes the rightful case that I beat her last week, and she just gets in the match, and so I deserve an opportunity. And Sonya, God, I just really don't like how this was handled. She's like, all right, well, you can prove it by facing Carmella. Now, I feel like sensibly it would be like, you know what, maybe I was too hasty. Carmella, you will have to earn your way. But she assures Carmella, no, you're not going to lose your spot.
Do you know why they did this, though? Like, obviously, they should have written it better. They should have written it in such a way that it made more sense. But from what I can tell, it seems like they did this in this way because they literally don't have enough women on the SmackDown roster to do qualifying matches.
Yeah.
The SmackDown women's roster is that shallow that they literally have to, like, write creative ways to get basically, like, all of them, or at least, like, all but one of them into this match in order to have 4 women in it.
Bro, it's so funny you even say this. Now, I want to, just before I get into that, say, as always, take it with a grain of salt. It probably doesn't mean anything because they've done stuff like this before and it never really amounts to anything. But apparently Shotzi was backstage at SmackDown tonight. Yeah. So I have to wonder if they're going to
Bordeaux was as well.
Yeah, so you have to wonder. You have to at least make it a question of if they're going to pad out that women's division a little bit. But that remains to be seen.
Is that triple threat #1 contendership women's tag match on Tuesday? You know, the Io Zoe, Shotzi Ember, Candice, or Dakota.
Dakota, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Is that Tuesday or is that in 2 weeks?
That's Tuesday, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they lose. Maybe Shotzi and Ember don't win that. And then, I mean, maybe it wouldn't surprise me if Io and Zoe won that, actually. And then Shotzi shows up on SmackDown next week to qualify for Money in the Bank. Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, dude, if Shotzi qualified for Money in the Bank, I know it would be way too soon, but she'd be another one I'd root for, too. Both fields could look so good this year. Oh, God. I'm really hoping this is actually a good Money in the Bank pay-per-view, because even the championship matches, we could pretty much assume what Roman's is going to be, and I'm legitimately, like, I'm ready for that one now. I don't think I was ready for it for Mania, but I'm going to be ready for it now.
Yeah.
And Bobby Kofi, I'm down, honestly. Kofi's a good dude. Kofi's solid. It'll be a fun match with Bobby. So right now, Money in the Bank's looking pretty good.
Would you like to hear SmackDown's entire women's roster?
Sure.
Bayley, Bianca, Carmella, Liv, Natalya, Tamina, which they're tag champs, so I don't think they'll be in. Reckoning, which is Mia Yim, Sasha, and Sonya. That is the entire SmackDown women's roster.
Wow.
Yep. So unless Sonya is going to use her power, like you said, to pull a Regal and put herself in it and win it herself, it's looking an awful lot like we're going to get Shotzi most likely being in it, because it's looking more and more like Bianca and Bayley are still going to be going at each other's throats. We've got Carmella and Liv. Natty and Tamina won't be in it, so that leaves Mia Yim, who isn't around, and Sasha. And I think it's safe to assume Sasha will be in it. So I'm guessing that's our field. I'm guessing our entire SmackDown field is going to be Carmella, Liv, Sasha, and Shotzi. That's my guess.
Damn. All right. Well, I think Shotzi being in it would be a hell of a
in chat, Shotzi in ladder matches. Oh, dear.
Yeah. You know, Foster, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have the same thought you did, because that is my only concern is that girl don't give a fuck, and I do, and it makes me really anxious. Yeah. But Liv does beat Carmella. I appreciated the finish here. I thought it was clever how Carmella tries to go for the top rope, kind of, Frankenstein of sorts, and then Liv just rolls through and stacks her up and gets the win. Yeah. If you're going to win by like a roll-up, at least put some ingenuity into it, and they did. So
at least it was different, but I'm still like, can women's wrestlers in WWE have finishers and win with them, please?
What's funny is, dude, is that Liv did win with her finisher the last time she beat Carmella. Yeah. They just didn't, I guess, want to do that again this week.
It was was it her version of Recoil, or was it the Against the Ropes Flatliner?
Against the Ropes Flatliner.
Okay, yeah, because I really like her version of Recoil. I think it works really, really well. We don't see Ricochet enough to give a shit.
Yeah, really. That's actually true. So we get Jimmy Uso interviewed, more or less says, I'm gonna win this match for the family. I dedicate it to the family and my brother Jay. So they're keeping Jay on everybody's minds. That's another thing too that's so vexing about this. It's not like, because see, I feel like normally when something happens, they try not to go out of their way to mention them unless they're a really big deal. And then, you get the whole video of them going to the hospital and the surgeon and the surgery and I'll be back and, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this is. I really don't know what this is. But then we get Jimmy Uso versus Dolph. God, would you believe I actually thought Dolph might have had a chance to win this year, and that really scared me. Wow. And I'm like, please no. Please no.
I think when Bobby Roode was there, like at ringside, I was like, oh God, is Roode going to help Ziggler win and it's going to piss Roman off? And like, there would be like a whole thing there, but I don't know. It's, God, Dolph and Roode are just fucking NPCs at this point. Like, they barely even out.
Yeah. Interesting spot with the zigzag into the steel steps, when we get this matchup between Jimmy and Dolph.
Man, remember when the zigzag used to like win Dolph championships?
Yeah. Way to get nerfed, loser. So then,
God. I wasn't prepared for you to go full bully on them. Jesus.
I'm trying to dole out the bullying to those that maybe deserve it a bit more, but I don't know. I'm working it out. But yeah, finish of the match. He catches Dolph. I'm guessing it was like a finisher, famouser attempt. I'm going to be honest, guys. I literally was on the toilet taking a shit watching this, so I don't really know everything that happened. And Jimmy pops him up. He super kicks him, and he gets the win. It's okay, though, because Dolph's chin absorbed like 90% of the impact, so he's fine. But yeah, Jimmy gets to prove his worth. It's all good. He comes to the back. Roman doesn't even really seem to acknowledge him because Roman's the only one that gets acknowledged. But Heyman's just like very hurriedly like, oh, yeah, you did great. You did great. And then they go out for the State of the Universal Championship address. And how do you feel about the State of the Universal Championship with this segment, Ashton?
Heyman annoyed me here, honestly.
In a good way? Like he's doing his job or like...
I don't know. Just the overly emphasizing the last letter of every word when he was running through the list of opponents annoyed me. I appreciate the actual content of the promo, like the, listing everyone that Roman has overcome, talking about... What was the first person that he mentioned? Fiend. He scared
the Fiend.
He demolished Strowman and but it was like every word, it was like he didn't say demolished. He said demolished, duh. I'm like, dude, are you doing a Triple H bit here or what? Like, what the hell? I was annoying as hell. But yeah, so he listed off, Fiend and Strowman and Kevin Owens and Bryan and Edge and Cesaro and the Mysterios, and he's run through all of them. And there's no one left. And he was getting ready to hand the mic over. Well, he did hand the mic over to Roman, and Roman... It seemed like they were trying to set up for something different, like they were going to do like an open challenge or something like that. And then music hit.
Yes, and whose music was it but the Rated R Superstars?
Javaris, who let this homeless man into the Thunderdome? This homeless-ass Viking-looking motherfucker.
Yeah. Edge is back.
Yes.
And honestly,
I did not expect to be this happy to see Edge back, but I am, because it means no Seth Roman.
Yeah, but see, I'm glad you mentioned Seth, because I would have forgotten about this. I feel like they're putting all the pieces together. I officially believe the rumors that one of the SummerSlam matches is going to be Edge versus Seth Rollins. And I think that's going to be a great match on the SummerSlam card because
SummerSlam is going to be insane this year. Roman Cena, Lashley Lesnar, Seth Edge. Are you kidding me? Probably Sasha Bailey again. What?
You mean Sasha Bianca, right?
Sasha Bianca. Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, dude. Dude, it's going to be fucking wild. Because here's why I think they're laying the groundwork.
Bigger than WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, it really is, dude. It really is. And why I think they're laying the groundwork for that, like Seth very clearly wanted to be number one contender. He has got to be feeling some kind of way that Edge just took that spot by force. And I almost have to wonder, dude, because see, they're going to want to, and I don't want to jump the gun because I know we always save these kind of conversations for our preview predictions, but I'm just going to say it right now. They're going to want to protect Edge because it's Edge. It's fucking Edge. But Roman is just, he's killing it right now. This is his moment, his era right now. I think Seth could screw Edge out of the title.
Dude, I genuinely believe that. Money in the Bank is going to be the show of karma because Edge screwed Daniel Bryan and Seth is going to screw Edge and Sammy is going to get his karmic justice and win Money in the Bank, goddammit. I am on this train until it's proven impossible.
Oh my God. I almost feel like you're channeling me energy right now,
I
which I
am.
like.
I am. Get used to it.
Which I like, because if Sammy actually wins the ladder match, I am really curious to hear your pop if that happens. Because, like, I'm normally the guy that,
pop.
like...
I won't pop. I'll just fucking thrive on it. I'll just be like, yeah, told you. I knew it.
But then you'll maybe pop in subsequent weeks after Sammy just kills it with promo after promo after promo with that briefcase.
Absolutely.
He'll be one of the best holders that briefcase has had. Like, in all seriousness, if he wins it, oh my God, oh my God. But he's got to qualify first. And see, that's why I hate that they didn't do it tonight, because I wanted to see Sammy qualify tonight. We got to wait till next week, so we'll have a lot to say about that last man standing match, which, in all honesty, should main event. That should main event that SmackDown. Because, like, I love you, Roman, but
nothing else is going on.
Something with Roman probably, and Edge. But I'm sorry, guys, you killed it tonight. But that last man standing match is going to be crazy. But yeah, Edge comes back. He takes out fucking Roman. You know, he starts brawling with Roman. He spears Roman. Then he wants to concerto Roman.
Dude, can I just say, though, when Edge first hits the ring, I love how smart Edge is, that he feigns like he's going to just go straight into the ring, knowing full well that it's going to bait Roman in, and then he backs out, tries to grab Roman's feet, can't get a hold of it, reaches up, grabs Roman's head, does a hot shot instead. I loved that. That felt totally improvised to me, and I loved it. And then Roman's selling the throat, and Edge goes and he takes him to the outside and slams his head on the announce table about 15, 20 times, throws him back into the ring, and when he gets back into the ring, Roman pops him with a Superman punch. I love that even getting sneak attacked, Roman is able to get the leg up. He goes out, grabs a chair, then he gets speared by Edge. And that gives Edge the advantage enough to set Roman up for a concerto. But when he goes to get back in the ring, that's when Jimmy comes out and fucks him up. And Edge even gets the upper hand on Jimmy, too.
He does. Edge stands tall here.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yep.
And this proved to me, this really, because I feel like I already knew I felt like this, but this really crystallized for me that I never had a problem with Edge wanting a piece of Roman. I think my biggest problem was just that Edge won the Rumble. I didn't like that Edge got his title shot by winning the Rumble, especially from number one. But him just getting a title shot like this, I'm cool with. I'm ready for it. Let's do Roman Edge one-on-one. Everybody wanted it at fucking WrestleMania. Let's do it. I'm ready now. Let's do it. And I think they're going to do it. And it's going to be a really great match, because Edge killed it at Mania. You know, him, Bryan, and Roman, I think, put on a really fun fucking match. And I think him and Roman can do something really great together at Money in the Bank. And if Seth does screw Edge out of the title, I feel like we're going to see so many, like, conspiratorial attacks, because you're going to see Seth wanting to take out Edge. Jinder already heavily implied, like, if something happens to one of the Money in the Bank participants, which makes me think Drew is winning that triple threat, and then Jinder's going to take Drew out of the match, and that's going to lead to the Drew Jinder program that nobody asked for. So, yeah, dude, Money in the Bank's going to have, like, a lot of attacks, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of just really, like, insane shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, for this week, focusing only on this week, Edge stands tall. He wants Roman. He wants the Universal title. And I say I am fucking ready for Money in the Bank. Finally,
dude, I was just going to say, I feel like I'm more hyped for Money in the Bank 3.5 weeks out than I was for Hell in a Cell a minute before the show started.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're not going to get a single disagreement out of me. And honestly, speaking for myself, because you know how hard I have stand this pay-per-view for years, finally, I feel fucking vindicated. Yeah. I feel like they've been shitting in my mouth all these years. Every time I'd speak up on its behalf, like, oh, it's Money in the Bank, guys. It's such a cool device to make stars and do all this shit. And WWE's just like, dude, shut up. Like, we're doing what we want. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But like,
Brock and Otis are the last two Money in the Bank winners.
But like here, I mean, they could still screw it up. That's always a possibility with WWE. And let's not kid ourselves to the contrary. But like, I'm liking both fields so far for the most part. Really, the only way you could screw it up for me with the women's right now would be if Alexa or Carmella won it, and Alexa is a very dangerous possibility.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's the worst to me. Like, I think the single worst already established Money in the Bank competitor this year is Alexa, by far.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Especially because she has won one before, and she did literally nothing in the match that she won it in. And I'm guessing it would be very similar here. So, Fuck that.
I feel like almost the opposite. I feel like she's probably going to dictate the entire women's Money in the Bank match, which is why I hate her so much that she's in it.
Oh, God. And I hate that they're probably just going to use Naomi in there as like a human highlight reel like every other fucking year. But if Shotzi qualifies, that'd be fucking interesting.
It takes some of the load off Naomi's ass for being a human highlight reel, Jesus.
And I know, and Naomi would just be like, oh, God, finally somebody that can keep up with me.
Yeah, really.
And then with the men, again, that last man standing match, if Sammy qualifies, Big E would get a nice pop, I think, from both of us.
I'm curious out of Styles, Orton, and Drew, who out of those three do you want to be in the match?
AJ.
I figured.
Because I think AJ is just so solid. Yeah. Drew, I'd just like to see him do something else. And it's funny because I think he is. Like, I do think he's going to feud with Jinder, but I hate that, like, he's going to have to take up a Money in the Bank spot as kind of like a narrative point to get there. Because then I just think it's a waste.
But they might do that anyway.
Well, dude, I'm only saying that he has to, like, in the sense that, again, Jinder implied, if anything happens to one of the competitors, consider me an alternate. And going after Drew with the 3MB history and everything else, like
okay, WWE so you think Drew's going to win the match on Monday, and then Jinder's going to take him out in such a way that Jinder gets into the Money in the Bank match?
Yes, and then maybe Drew costs him, like he has a moment with Jinder where he takes him personally out of the Money in the Bank ladder match, not to take the spot back, but just to like take him out. You know what I mean? And then you kind of like that'll probably be towards the end of the match itself before we get our winner. So I don't really care that it's that convoluted. I feel like you could have given somebody else this spot and done Drew Jinder another way, but whatever. So yeah, it's not like it's not without its problems or its potential problems, depending on how it's booked. But it just, look, man, I guess what I'm just trying to say is it looks really nice right now. And it feels nice.
We like to look at it as like, look at all these toys that we get to play with. Look at all of this passion for possibility that we can have. Look at all these great competitors in this fun match that we've seen so many classic versions of before. Whereas WWE is just like, that's all mere window dressing for the actual bullshit we have planned.
Corbin winning to redeem himself.
Oh, God, remember when Corbin had Money in the Bank?
Yeah, and he failed to cash in. And it seems like his patience with John Cena receded faster than his airline, but it didn't matter because he still got squashed by Cena at the following pay-per-view, which I think was like SummerSlam or whatever.
Imagine failing to cash in on Jinder Mahal. Fuck.
Yeah, that happened. And Foster, the funny thing is, you're not even wrong. Like in a way, I really feel at peace because Johnny had such a great run in Lucha Underground and he was such an amazing champion. I always hate that some random fucking prick commenting on our videos spoiled that title reign for me. But, just to see him kind of repeat some of that success in WWE when he's been denied it for so long, yeah, needless to say, I'd have a pretty positive reaction to it. Not to understate it or anything.
I don't know how I can increase the stakes. We went from mark out of the decade to mark out of the century to mark out of a lifetime when he won Tag Gold and then Gift of the Gods and then World Title respectively. So I don't know how we go one step up from that for a video for your mark out.
Well, then you're going to have to grease somebody's palms in WWE with like a $5 bill or something and be like, hey, I'm kind of creatively empty and I know real recognize real. So can you sabotage Jomo here?
What? I would never.
I would respect you if you did, but also be heartbroken at the same time. So, God, that's a perfect recipe for therapy. I need it so desperately.
The thing is, not only do I want you to be happy, but I also like Jomo, so it would make me happy, too, for him to win.
I know. And then, especially if Miz helps him win it, Jomo should take the briefcase and then smash him in the fucking face with it. And be like, yeah, I don't need you anymore, bitch. Yeah. I just want to say, as a member of the disability community, Miz does not speak for us. I know you're coming out in your wheelchair and your squirt guns. Fuck you still. Fuck
Honestly,
you.
though, his face when he squirted with that was hilarious.
Yeah, he's having a great time. And really, in all seriousness, I respect it because, like, even injured, you can't keep this guy off TV. Like, talk about a fucking hustler, man. He gets his. But anyway, that's Raw. We don't review Raw because it's trash and we have standards. Just really, really psyched for the men's Money in the Bank. I am so ready for this fucking match. But we have to wait just a few weeks longer. Oh, God, it hurts. And in the meantime, high spots, low shots. I'm going to say my low shot is Sami Zayn. If only because, this actually gives proof for his conspiracy in a way, dude. Because if I'm Sami
versus reality, right? Last man standing versus Kevin Owens. Fuck you.
Dude. Let's just pause on that for a second because you did kind of touch on what I was essentially going to say. Sami's delusional and nobody was ever going to give him the briefcase, but everybody else has had singles matches. Big E had a singles match. Everybody on Raw, singles match. You're putting me, granted, in a singles match, but a last man standing match. You don't want me to make it to Money in the Bank in one piece. You don't want me to win it.
Not only is it a last man standing match, but it's a last man standing match against the dude that almost beat Roman Reigns in the same exact match type at the beginning of this year.
Exactly. And then I beat it Hell in a Cell already. So, dude, this is how you...
Why should Kevin get another shot? He just lost.
I say this jokingly, of course, but this is how you radicalize people to Sami's bullshit. This is how you red pill people to Sami's cause. You do this shit. And it's wait a minute. A last man standing match, nobody else has had to go through that. Does Sami have a point? You're doing his work for him, WWE. You're doing his propaganda for him. Get your head out of your fucking ass.
This is going to be a hell of a scene in the documentary.
Dude. Okay, see, this is why I almost hate that Jomo's in it, because I feel like he isn't going to win, and I should just back the Sami horse completely. Because, dude, you know how I've been saying over and over and over and over that they should do a network special for the documentary. I still believe that. What if they've just been waiting for this big moment? What if the documentary ends with him winning Money in the Bank? I know the even better thing would be a successful cash-in, but, you can't wait that fucking long, right?
Why not?
What if it is?
I think it's worth waiting for it to end in a cash-in. There's no greater story than that.
And because it really could go both ways. If it's a failed cash in, stop the conspiracy now against me. Yeah, and if it's winning the world title, karmic justice, ultimate karmic justice.
Yep.
So again, Sami's the perfect Money in the Bank holder. He should win. I think about it from every angle, and I don't see any fault with Sami winning that briefcase.
Kind of how a few years ago there was no fault with Andrade being the king of the ring.
It's the ball, man. But yeah, Sami low shot because the dude can't catch a fucking break, and it just further proves the conspiracy against him. So might have to stock up on that Vicks Vapor Rub. We'll have to see. Who's your low shot?
Against him. God damn it. Stop it. My low shot is actually Roman Reigns. Believe it or not, because he does have Jimmy on his side now, but it's basically sort of a parallel, a lateral move, because Jay was already there, and now Jay's just gone. So he went from one definite soldier with the potential for two to absolutely positively no more than one at most, with the potential for that guy turning his back on you. So that's a downgrade. And now we know that Seth Rollins has his eyes set on the Universal Championship, and if we know nothing else about Seth Rollins, it's that he has Roman Reigns' fucking number. We've seen that throughout history. Since the Shield broke up, Seth Rollins has owned Roman Reigns in the ring. Beat him for the fucking title at WrestleMania, 31? The one where he turned into a triple threat with a cash-in, pinned Roman in that match. So, and then Roman was the champion, I believe, going into that. Roman was the Royal Rumble winner. But still, Seth has Roman's number. And now Edge is back. So right when you think, we've run through everyone, two of the biggest possible threats to your championship make their sights set on you in the same night. Yeah, it's not the best place to be the head of the table right now.
It really is, because I'm just thinking about all their matches. Seth Rollins returns from that knee injury, and at Money in the Bank, oddly enough, beats Roman for the WWE Championship.
Yeah, if you really think about it, dude, Roman Reigns is a wavering loyalty question from Jimmy Uso away from receiving a concerto.
He is. He really is, yeah. And then Edge breathing down his neck. God damn, those are the two worst challengers Roman could have right now, staring him down.
Yeah.
Because still thinking about Seth, that huge Raw gauntlet match for Elimination Chamber, who did he beat first in that gauntlet match, which
dude,
both friends were in.
Seth owns Roman. Like the Shield. This is one thing that I will never. I will always give WWE credit for. The Shield were so perfectly booked after their breakup because it was like the fucking Pokemon starter element triangle. Seth always had Roman's number. Roman always had Dean's number. Dean always had Seth's number. It was constantly throughout their whole careers when they were all three around. That's how they worked. Seth always beat Roman. Roman always beat Dean. Dean always beat Seth. Now, it wasn't like a 100% thing, but it was like a 90% thing. Like, it was really consistent.
Yeah. And if I'm Roman, I'm really nervous right now because here's the thing. We've been saying that if he got all three of them together, like, Jimmy and Jay, he'd sleep pretty fucking soundly at night.
Yeah.
But there are cracks in the armor right now, dude. And
not to mention,
are
did you see the guns on Rick Boogs tonight? If he decided to set his title to the Universal title, Roman would be pissing himself.
Yeah, absolutely. And dude, I know, you're right. But you mentioning another person, made me think. That men's Money in the Bank field is so stacked that whoever wins it on the SmackDown side, if I'm Roman, I'm worried about them too. Not just because of who they are, because they can get it at any time they want.
And that's the other thing too, is that now you've got Kevin Owens as a potential Money in the Bank holder. Like, that's another thing that, Roman is just all of the odds are actually just stacking against Roman, all in this one episode of SmackDown. This was a really bad night for Roman Reigns.
Yeah, you might have the strongest low shot now that I really think about it. So, high spot for me, could go for the low-hanging fruit. You know what? I'll go for the low-hanging fruit for one of the ladder matches, Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan, and again, they left it as an ambiguous question, which I hate, but I have to imagine she's going to be in the ladder match. Yeah. So she beat Carmella, who already is in the ladder match. So, if I'm Liv, I just beat a Money in the Bank competitor, a former Money in the Bank winner, and they'll never fail to remind us of that till the end of time.
2 times!
So,
even though they were both in the same briefcase, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah. So, Liv, she better get in the fucking match or I will genuinely be pissed. But for tonight, she won. It implied that she did enough to prove her point. We'll see. So I'm all about Liv Morgan getting that briefcase. Let's fucking do it. Who's your high spot?
A kind of low-hanging fruit on my end too, but on the other ladder match, my high spot is Big E.
Gotta be a favorite. Yeah. Gotta be a favorite.
It's simple, right? He had a great match against Apollo. And here's the thing. Not only did Big E win to get into Money in the Bank, but he beat the Intercontinental Champion, proving once again that he should be in contendership for that championship.
Yeah. And really proving, too, that in a fair scenario, Big E just has Apollo's number.
Because Aziz got booted from ringside. That's right.
Exactly. Dude, it's because of Aziz. Let's not forget the finish of the WrestleMania match that started Apollo's reign. It's because of Aziz that Big E even lost the Intercontinental. He'd probably still be big Intercontinental Champion today if it wasn't for Aziz. Yep. So, Big E is dominant, man. And he even said on the apron when he was celebrating, things are changing. Tonight, it begins tonight. It begins tonight. We're not looking back. We're looking forward. Big E is fired up. So I'm so stoked for Money in the Bank this year. It feels so good to have these feelings justified. All right. That's it. That was Friday Night SmackDown.
Both of our high spots and low shots this week. I feel like I can't remember the last time that I felt as enthusiastic about both of our high spots and low shots as I do this week.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man, things are really coming together for this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Last Man Standing next week. I hate it, though, because I love Kevin so much. But Sammy's work has been undeniable, so I'm going to be so torn. And when we talk about it, I'm probably going to be pissy regardless. I'm going to be like, I love this guy, but I hate that this guy didn't get in. Fuck you, WWE. But we'll have to see. But, guys, this has been Friday Night SmackDown. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fan, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my coordinate commentary. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to the top search result for SmackDown reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Be sure to subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications so you never get miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Always like to highlight the Patreon. You can check out our price breakdowns, see how you can get your own TWitWoW request, we have got one coming up in really just a few days. Mark Schoeneman wanted us to do Backlash 2004. So, Mark, we'll be sure to get that request in. I think we have it penciled in tentatively for June 30th at 4. So, be on the lookout for that. Other things we offer, additional Q&A questions. Guys, we just did Q&A last night. So Q&A for July is going to be Thursday the 29th. And so non-Patreon donors get only 3 questions. If you donate $1, however, you get 2 additional Q&A questions for a total of 5. You can submit your questions through YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. To get access to the TWitWoW Discord is $3 a month. Great community. You can talk about pretty much whatever you want. Really passionate and wonderful people. And we do Among Us Mondays. And we've kind of been talking just a little bit about maybe even shaking that up and getting other games involved too with the people that are on the TWitWoW server. I think there are a lot of fun possibilities ahead. Coming to the TWitWoW Discord. You want to get in on it while it's hot. $3. Follow us both on Twitter. I am at John_TwitWoW. He is at Ashton_TwitWoW. My pinned tweet is for collecting Q&A questions. So again, I've already had some people reply to my pinned tweet with their Q&A questions. You can do the same. It is absolutely not a problem. Ashton's pinned tweet is for the TWitWoW schedule for the month. We are still in June, although I can't believe June is almost over already. Man, time is a weird fucking thing, isn't it? And so we will see you.
It's a flat circle.
Absolutely. We will see you. Actually, we have it on the schedule as seeing you tomorrow for the Stardom 623 show.
Yeah, that's
do we think that's still? Yeah, I figured that wasn't going to happen. So I'm guessing the latest we'll see them maybe Monday.
Tuesday is more likely, but Tuesday's also you said the latest, so that's why I'm thinking like definitely no later than Tuesday, but most likely is Monday.
Tuesday will be the Iwate show live reactions. That'll be at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We had another Stardom show in its place because, man, Stardom has a lot of shows here.
Yeah, like I said, Monday is a distinct possibility. I think we might end up actually having 4 Stardom shows this coming week, and that might end up working out to like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So we will keep you guys posted on that. And again, we do have Mark's TWitWoW Request Live for 4 p.m. WWE Backlash 2004 live reactions.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, we got a lot of Stardom coming to you because latest would be Tuesday for the Iwate show. But we already had in this schedule for Monday, they have a Hachi Nohei show live reactions because that'll be June 24th, which already happened. And then Tuesday, they have a 626 show, which is happening tonight. That's a Mutsu show live reaction. So, yeah, a lot of Stardom coming your way soon, guys. Obviously, Tuesday, June 29th, we'll be doing an NXT review at 10. That should be interesting to see how it goes. I know we missed NXT this week because I had family stuff. They're gone now, so we're back on the train. We're back on schedule. And, yeah, so a lot of good stuff coming your way the next few days. Until then, though, enjoy the weekend. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And until then, tune in. Peace out.